Upstate New York is where we sit tonight as we get ready for round number 6 of this TI IndyCar Series. As we welcome you back after a 1-week hiatus that turned into a little bit of a hiccup on my end, but it all works out. We're back and we're good to go here tonight at the Virtual Watkins Glen International Raceway. As I mentioned, it is round 6 of this TI IndyCar Series. As we get ready for the Watkins Glen Grand Prix, I am the captain. Of course, Gary Godso is going to join me here in just a second as we welcome you into some great racing as we get ready to turn up the action and get ready for the last half of season number 6 as we get closer and closer to potentially crowning a champion and potentially back-to-back champions. We'll have to see, but I know one thing's for sure. We definitely just left off a very interesting Indianapolis race that left some drama, some angry people, some happy people, and a first-time winner when it was all over with. As Gary joins me, of course, up here in the booth. Gary, I know you got a doubleheader yourself this evening, so you get to do 2 road courses, 2 of the more historic racetracks in one evening. But tonight here, Watkins Glen International, it is a fun track up here in upstate New York, and one that has been racing since the 50s.
Yeah, and they started racing through the back streets and the back roads of the county there, and then later, much like kind of what they did with Road America back in the day, this kind of incorporated it back into its own circuit. But yeah, I get to go on a highly, I don't want to say this is an awfully technical road course, much along the same lines as later tonight when I head over back to Indianapolis for the Grand Prix there. I don't think Indianapolis is a very technical road course either, but they are both extremely fast. And these guys are going to be on the throttle more than they will be off the throttle. Right now, your provisional pole center, Stephen Larkamp, is qualified at a 141.243 mile per hour lap. You don't know how fast that is around here. That is blazingly quick.
125.6. I think you said 141.
141, that's miles per hour.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, 125 in time. Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of putting things in perspective here. 125, kind of gives you an idea of time. We're like, well, how fast are they going really? Well, that's how fast they're going. This is really one of the faster road courses that they'll be on for this season for the most part.
A lot of straightaways here and just a lot of well, I would say a lot of room to race, but there's those Armco barriers on both sides of the track that make it very treacherous. As we take a look at the weather here tonight, partly cloudy skies, 70 degrees air temp, track temp at about 77, humidity doesn't exist really. North at 2 mile an hour the wind, so blowing from Rochester basically down towards Watkins Glen as we sit right on the edge of Lake Seneca, which is one of the Finger Lakes here on the south region. And this track actually was built, as we mentioned, back in 1910. There's Barney the flagman just going nuts with his arm. This track actually was part of history. You mentioned a little bit about how this track, much like Road America and a couple other tracks, used to race into the town. It used to be a 6.5 mile track, I believe it was, in downtown Watkins Glen. Well, unfortunately, this is the home area of where a young kid was actually struck in an incident, and from that point forward, the town of Watkins Glen, and along with all the United States, put in a law that said that street racing was no longer allowed. So that's what brought Watkins Glen International Raceway to life here at this track. So a little history for you there for this evening. So, but it looks like, as you mentioned, Gary, Stephen Larkamp going to be on the pole for this race. But let's take a look at the driver points after last week. The historic win at Indianapolis, a first-time winner once again. And Isaac Morris ends up leading the points now by some 36 points. If I could do the math correctly, there would be a miracle. 36 points over Kite Bommersbach, Nate Brody, who won Indianapolis, first-time winner, third. And you could call this a kind of a shocker, but Luke Daniels definitely earning himself the Most Improved Driver award right now in this series, up to fourth in points. And Ed Kerstetter, your top 5. What else do you see out of that, Gary?
I see the battle for first and second pretty much over for the time being, unless a lot of bad luck impacts those two. Mm-hmm. But I see 7 points separating third from seventh place. I see 13 points separating ninth from third place. So just about everybody in the top 10 one really good race by them and one bad race about their neighbors, and they're going to be right up in the middle of the top 5.
As we see a flock of seagulls running so far away, they want to get away. On the screen there, 80s music for those who didn't know what the world I just did there. But we're getting ready to do some racing here at Watkins Glen. As I mentioned, the grid going to flip over here, and we will see the starting lineup here in just a moment across the screen. But kind of a surprise, we'll say, up there at the pole this evening. Stephen Larkamp, I believe this is his first career TI IndyCar pole for him. So congratulations to the driver of the 62 car with a pretty blazing lap, as you mentioned, over 140 miles an hour. As we take a look at the starting lineup here on the screen, it is Larkamp alongside Kite Bommersbach, who is trying to get himself back going here. He, of course, got that first win late last season and has had tons of great finishes, but lately here he's been making those little mistakes on road courses, and it's kind of hurt him. But let's see if he can bounce back tonight. There's Isaac Morris and Nate Brody, the winner at Indianapolis. Can't take that away from him as he'll start fourth. George Whitehouse and Sam Blackwood. Sam coming off we'll call it a rough Indianapolis when it's over with. He'll start sixth. Cohen Evans, Luke Daniels. There's Luke in the eighth position there in row number 4. Row 5 sees Jim Herrick and Carlos Dotero. Dan Herrera and Isaac Lopez. Grabowski, a good qualifying run for him at 13th alongside the P2P Vila in 14th position there. Andres Perez, Charles Baldwin making a start there in 16th. And then a lot of guys that you might notice from the truck race last night on Captain Esports Network. Caden Tufts and Ryan Whitaker, the Daytona winner, in what was a very controversial finish. Craig Forsyth making an appearance tonight alongside Dylan Parker. Jacob Locklear, Chris Lewis not racing. Patrick Thompson, Aiden Christensen. No, not the Anakin Skywalker. His name is Hayden. This guy's Aiden, a little different. And Campbell Delaney there in the 09 will start shotgun 25th on the field in a pretty big lineup here, Gary.
Yeah, we got, looks like we're going to have 24 cars taking the green flag here. I don't see anyone starting from the pits. We're going to have the long parade lap, so this is going to get everyone a chance to get in the right frame of mind. This is also going to impact fuel mileage because this is going to be the way that they have fuel mileage spread out on these tracks is pretty specific.
Right.
And this is one extra lap that a lot of them don't account for when they do their testing.
And, of course, the word we're hearing about tonight is the word tires. When it comes to Watkins Glen, it's very notorious for the tire wear, of course, at this track. The pavement's roughly less than 10 years old, I believe. But I believe this is the same Watkins Glen, though. And apparently Craig Forsyth was there for the free practice, from what he's saying in chat here. But the build here of iRacing actually has the Watkins Glen pre the repave. Hence why you see the grass over in turn 1 still, the grass over, or not in turn 1, but over in the carousel area, because now, as you know, Watkins Glen is predominantly asphalt all the way around the track. Over in the NASCAR turn 6 section, you got kitty litter over there. That's now asphalt. I believe there's asphalt right here now in the bus stop area where they go, but there's just so many places now where they've kind of, if you make a mistake now, you can kind of got room to save it. But Gary, your key part of the track here, I think it's one we talk about each and every season, turn 9.
Turn 9, coming out of the hill, just traditionally the number of, see how many times have we come here and done a race? This is about our 5th time or so.
It's up there.
Every single time there's problems in that area. The reason why is it's uphill, it's a left-hand corner, a left-hand turn. It's a lot sharper than it looks. Their cars are going to be kind of a light as it's coming up to the hill, peaking at the top of the hill. They're wanting to get on the power really quick because starting from turn 9 to turn 10, turn 11, that's pretty much on the power the entire way. They might just crack the throttle just a little bit. So they definitely want to get a build-up of a run built up so they can get that car in that pass in that right-hander in turn 1 there.
It's also
so that's where a lot of cars are going to lose the back end. You're going to see it right off the bat. It doesn't matter if the tires are cold or warm or worn or new. it happens every single time.
Well, not to mention also a first gear corner there as you come out of turn 9. So you got to be very careful. As you mentioned, kind of off camber a little bit there. And obviously you're coming onto another patch of a track that is kind of perpendicular to where that part of the track comes in. So when you look at the angle or the crown, as they call it, of the roads, like right here, look at this. I mean, it looks like a pretty simple corner, but it is far from simple.
It is not. It is not, for sure. And we'll see cars right off the bat losing it through there. So we'll keep an eye on turn 9. A bit of a drinking game in the past we've had people have with turn 9. So enjoy whatever your favorite beverage is at the spins and the ill welfare of people in turn 9. We're coming to green.
We are coming to green. Thankfully, I've got my cup of Walmart sweet tea in my hand, so ain't gonna be no binging this evening. So here we go. Green flag, Watkins Glen double header racing here on Captain Esports Network, starting now.
Big jump.
Oh, and a big wreck in the back.
Really
Contact.
wrecking in the back.
Who is that way back here with some contact? Caden
That must
Tufts.
have been Christensen. I think that was Christensen.
Caden Tufts with heavy wheel damage. So is Aiden Christensen. And unfortunately, we got another car destroyed too back here. Oh, George Whitehouse is off track. Over in turn 1, Whitehouse is off.
I noticed Christensen was having issues coming up to speed out of the pits. Probably not used to when the power hits those rear tires all at once in these Indy cars versus the trucks or something as like a stock car. It's not quite as abrupt. And he was having issues, and I'm wondering if he had another issue coming up.
Oh, wow.
Spun the wheels.
The 09 of Caden, or of a new driver here in this series. The 09 is, I can't find his name off. So Campbell Delaney up there. Watch this move here. There's the start. One car just spins the tires, it looks like, and spins into another car. That's Caden Tufts that got hit. And then there's going to be another car that goes straight off turn 1 spinning. Ooh. And then watch this 09 here as he gets on the gas and never checks up. And there's a wreck up in front here, and bam! Drills the 22.
That's an experience of not being used to the closing rates of these cars.
So Patrick Thompson, add him to the list of drivers. So unfortunately, got 3 cars on pit road right now. Make that a 4th now with Caleb Delaney, but it is Larkamp leading by 0.8 of a second after lap 1.
Yeah, I want to point out 2 cars I've already noticed right off the bat. Look at our man, Jim Herrick, up in P6, already in the first lap. Good start for him. And you might want to take a look at our man Push the Pass, Indy. He is the first one on the prime tires right now, and he is already using Push the Pass. And he is currently in P7, so he wants to get ahead of those cars in front of him as quickly as possible.
So Edu obviously going to take advantage of the long run. He might fall back here at the start of this race, but then eventually he is going to fall back or move his way up there through the field, and that's probably strategy with help from his guys there at TI, of course, who helped put that setup together for him.
Yeah, as these tires start to go away on these alternate tires on these cars go away. They'll start going away after about 6 laps or so, from what I've been understanding. He should be able to start making up that time on track, but it does him really no good to kind of sit there and cruise. He wants to push as much as possible, maybe get those guys in front of him with those alt tires to wear them out a little bit more quicker, I guess.
I know what you meant.
There we go. You know what I meant. Before that, get them worn out before that 6 lap window. Maybe get them out worn out after 5. That top 6 is kind of broken away a little bit.
Larkamp fastest lap there, 27.7. He's got 0.9 over Isaac Morris, Kite Bommersbach, Nate Brody, and Cohen Evans. Right now, your top 5. And just looking through the field, making sure we'll have to watch the 6th place, or I can't talk. This number 6 car, George Whitehouse here. I'm not sure. He completed 1 lap and has already swapped over to the prime tires here. So we'll have to see if that, I don't think that plays in the rules of TI Racing, so we'll have to keep an eye on that situation.
Sure on that one. It says George did 1 on the other compound. So does Christensen. He did 1 on his the soft compound, and they're both on to hards now. Caden Tufts also stopped, changed tires, and he went on, put on softs again. Campbell Delaney doing the same thing.
So some breaking news here, as we've noticed that Edu Vila has used his first push to pass of the evening.
But only one at this point. Only one. Normally, this he's a little behind schedule.
Yeah, it's like he, ever since he joined the TI group, he's kind of laid off that button. I don't know if they finally taught him, hey, like, that button is not a good one for you. Right now, at least. Nate Brody there in that 33 car, the Indianapolis winner, following Kite Bommersbach. Kite looking to the inside there for a split second of Isaac for second. So I started to mention.
Oh, go ahead. Larkamp with the purple lap. Sorry, go ahead. Larkamp with the purple lap at a 1:27.509 last time by. So he is putting the heat on those tires and on the people behind him.
Of course, with the new graphics you see here on the Captain Esports Network, you're able to see that time over on the top right portion of the screen. When somebody goes purple, it will pop up on the right side of the screen. It'll say fastest lap, that person's name, and so on and so forth. So you'll be able to see that now.
There's a battle for position. So you saw the Bommersbach making his way around Isaac going into the bus stop there. We have Kamagoye, TI, and TI, and LMC. So the teams are running in pairs right now.
The only thing we didn't hear was uh-oh when it was over with there. There's a new version of Nelly ZI apparently. Kamagoye, TI, uh-oh. Come on. A for effort.
Normally after two Kamagoyes, it's time for a pin, but
might have had to bounce back with the Hogan kick out.
That's not the one wing angel. No one kicks out of the one wing angel.
You know.
Although Kota Ibushi was one of the last one to do it.
Remember, nobody was supposed to kick out of the perfect plex back in the 80s either.
Right.
Here's a good little fight right here. It's Cohen Evans here in that 17 car. He has caught the back end of Brody. And this is all about 2 seconds off. Isaac Morris has lost second to Kite, as you mentioned. And I wonder if Isaac is maybe saving those reds a little bit, because I know one thing he talked about with his guys was doing a little fuel saving, maybe saving the tires, and knowing that these alternate reds can fall off the map really quickly. I think in this situation, he's looking to just be careful here.
I would not be surprised. I do know that the Kamagoye guys have put a lot of time in on the track as well. They might feel that the best approach is to get away from Isaac as quickly as possible, right? And see what happens there. And you know what they say is kind of like God sort them out after that point. But they are actually coming up on about the time where these tires start going off. They're starting lap 5 now, starting lap 6. So we should start seeing if Isaac starts reeling them in.
With the fast speeds of these cars, especially here like down to turn 1, one of the slower portions of the track as Larkamp out drives it to Syracuse in turn 1. How much aero are you feeling on this nose of the car here? Because, I mean, you're carrying pretty good speeds here.
Of course, Bommersbach, of course, is going to have every bit of that aero push behind him. But in the clean air, Larkamp just trying to make that turn 1 turn as wide and as long as possible to maximize his speed through there. And well, hell, they gave the NASCAR guys half a state to run off over there, so might as well take part in it. But you know, if you give them an inch, they'll take all that inch over there. So you know, maybe at some point, if they ever want to talk about slowing them down here, maybe getting rid of all that extra runoff area over there. Just me personally, but
come on now, you think they're really going to do that here?
No.
So you're smarter than that, Mr. God, so come on. But I did see Kite go a little bit wide there in turn 1, so you can definitely feel the pressure on your nose. And then not to mention now Isaac is starting to kind of work his way back into this picture here. Last time by, Isaac wasn't the fastest car in this pack, but you could just tell that maybe Larkamp has burnt the tires off, and now the pack is starting to kind of get closer back together here.
Yeah. Last sector, Isaac was faster than Kite that time, so he's starting to close the gap, and he was also faster than Nate, so he's starting to make the gap there. as you kind of see two cars together. Then kind of Isaac now by himself for the most part as he starts to reel in the top two. That time by 129.2, 129.2, 129.8 for Isaac.
Oh, there it is for the lead. Kite, get a look.
Inside, yep.
I think he's going to get it to him.
Yep.
Nice move.
Teammates going to coordinate that, coordinate it to lose the least amount of time as possible.
And Kite did actually use push to pass here to make that move for the lead. So Bommersbach with the move to the front here on lap number 6 of this Watkins Glen Grand Prix. So again, about, what, 17 laps or so is the number I'm hearing for tires and
kind of
fuel.
what I've been hearing as well.
So if you go 17, obviously that's 54. As you see a dive to the inside,
here's
Cohen Evans.
Yeah, Cohen coming in right here into the heel section, coming uphill into turn 9.
That is not an easy corner.
No, it's not. Run out of room there awfully quick. Some of these turns have a little extra. Oh, there's lap traffic right there.
A stopped
at the
car.
corner of turn 10 there, kind of.
I believe that was Delaney.
Stop.
I believe that was Delaney in the 09 that was stopped there. Probably not the safest place to stop at, but I've seen worse places apparently.
Yeah, turn 8 does not have a lot of runoff. It has a little bit of that rumble strip runoff that you see, but nothing like the runoff that you see on some of these other corners on this course, where you have gapes and gapes of land there that they can run off on. Looks like Kite's actually kind of pulled away a little bit here.
Yeah, he definitely showed he was faster. As we ride on board Jim Herrick here, the LOCgear.com. DeLaura just out here on his own, running in the 6th position. Jim doing an awesome job so far. Obviously, we hope to see him do well here.
Yeah, he's got a great start. Just hope that our acknowledgement of him is not a jinx.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of his car now before I cost him something. But another guy I do want to give a shout out to here, Charles Baldwin, the 8th place car here. Charles, the beginning of this race, or beginning of the season, I mean, this dude was lost. I think he found more, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, it's going to sound very negative, he found more grass than he did asphalt half the time. And, he's improved and been out here running laps, and I know he made an appearance over in my Thursday night development series and has done his best out there. But so far, running up here in the 8th spot here, right behind Luke Daniels, who is coming off a couple of great finishes here in the last couple of weeks.
Track time and seat time, it definitely matters. If you're going to sit here and think you can jump into just one of these races without a great deal of practice behind it, you're going to find it rough going. And he's been working at it, and definitely Luke has too. Luke is on one of my teams, and he actually won here, and I believe in your development series. Yep. And so he had a very detailed report for the team, and they kind of built their setup and their strategy kind of off some of his suggestions. So hopefully any good performance that the Kamagoya or Black Cat squad does today, it comes directly from Luke Daniels and his victory in your series.
And Luke, that was no joke that night either. Luke outran some guys in that series that are here in this series and used to run this series and stuff like that. He outran them all. I mean, Austin Saar is another driver that he runs over at VOR. He ran here last season. He's taking this season off from running over here on Tuesday nights, but is no slouch. I mean, this kid is an engineer student, is a very smart guy. Like, he shows me some of his technology and some of his engineering stuff that he uses, and you're like, you got to be kidding me with this. I mean, this guy gives you numbers about, like, which tire is angled this way, and it's just ridiculous numbers. And he went out there and just straight outran him. And it was like, that's kind of impressive. So, but I think also at the same time with Luke, this is kind of for those who might be watching tonight that are in this, the League of Mine on Thursday nights and seeing this, they're like, wow, Luke's running 7th. This is the reason why I created that league, was because Luke's running 7th, which is good, but this is the top talent you're going to see when you're out here racing in these leagues. You're going to see people like Kite, who's out there leading right now by 1.5 seconds. Isaac Morris, who's actually 3rd by 2.5 right now. They don't play around.
No. It matters. Practice matters. Seat time matters.
Already 10 laps in.
We're about 6 laps or so away, maybe as early as 5 laps away from seeing the first round of pit stops. Pit road, because it is a NASCAR pit road, is extremely slow here, so you got to maximize whatever time you can on pit road, and hitting that. There's a lot of speeding penalties here because people will hit those cones and don't quite hit the pit limiter button.
Yeah, pit road speed, I believe, 45 miles an hour here.
Yeah,
and obviously pit road goes to the right.
Oh, and there's a car right there, and turn 9 that was run off as the leaders came right by him. So that was one of the Minsby Motorsports cars.
I didn't get to see who that was, unfortunately. Might have been Ryan Whitaker.
And they got towed to the pits there.
No, Whitaker's off over here in the. I'm trying to draw the foot in my head. The heel, I believe, where he is.
Turn 8.
So there's Kite up the back straightaway here, heading to the bus stop.
Steven still has that purple lap, so and that's not going to get no one's really going to get that close to that purple lap until they put on new tires.
Right. Kind of a sad story here a little bit. A couple of sad stories we're going to share here tonight. And the first one I do want to share is actually involving this track. Watkins Glen. Of course, that bus stop over there was put in 1992. And it was put in after a tragic accident in a stock car race, in a NASCAR race with J.D. McDuffie, who died over in the carousel there.
Yeah, that was their that was the first race that they had there when the Cup returned to the Glen for the first time. And so that was they put that in for the next year then, right?
Yes, correct, in 92. Now, of course, 2 weeks ago, the Cup Series was at Watkins Glen. And the day of that race, J.D. McDuffie's wife passed away 30 years to the day of J.D.'s death at that track. So kind of a sad story there, obviously, when it comes to that family. And I know probably every time they would watch a race at this track, they obviously are going to have, nightmares and memories and stuff of that tragic day. And now for that to add on to it's just a, unfortunate deal.
I believe the safety improvements that they made to the facility after that can be directly contributed to that particular incident. I mean, I believe, it personally saved a couple of the Bodine brothers. I think Jimmy Johnson actually had his life saved here by some of the technology they put in and to protect against these Armco barriers, because not a lot of tracks use those Armco barriers anymore.
Right.
They're like cheese graters when it comes to these cars.
Jimmy Johnson, for those who don't know, in 2000, lost his brakes going into turn 1. And, I mean, he barely, from the rumble strip to the wall, hit anything on the track. I mean, he almost cleared the whole entire track to the wall.
And this is pre-Cup. This is pre-7 championship Jimmy Johnson. So this is like, history could have been different if things turned out different.
Yeah, the one that drove for Reggie Jackson in a series that only had one win in his career, and that was at Chicagoland. But needless to say, that turned into a whole nother story there on that end. So let's check in on our battle for second as Larkamp tries to hold off Isaac. This is coming to lap 12 right now of this race. Isaac has saved his tires up a little bit and is starting to put some pressure on.
Yeah, this is really, other than it looks like we've got a bit of a battle forming up with 3 cars really for 7th, 8th, and 9th pretty close together. But other than that, this is your closest battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, good fighting going on, as you mentioned that battle here. And then let's go back here to Dan Herrera as they cross the start-finish line. You mentioned the 8th place battle.
So yeah, all this is for position right here, with the exception of Whitehouse, who was unfortunately got caught up in an earlier incident and is not off pace, just down on time.
Isaac Lopez diving inside of Herrera here. Maybe going to try 2 for 1. Nope, not able to do so.
Careful going through there, fellas.
Herrera gives him the spot there and moves Dan back to the 9th position. He's got Andres Perez right there behind him. Of course, Dan, the comedian of the series.
Yeah, but he's also getting up there in terms of being a smart driver.
Absolutely.
He'll realize that at 13 laps, 3-lap race, letting guys go. He's probably already knows that George is a lap down, so why race him? Let him go. Let him move on right ahead. Keep your pace.
Yep, I mistakenly said Andre there. It's actually George, as you mentioned there. So my apologies to both.
But he doesn't really concern himself about getting past.
Larkamp on pit road.
And this is a scheduled pit stop at lap 14.
Yep, Larkamp is in. And right behind him, there's that Luke Daniels coming to pit road. It sure is. So Luke coming here, lap number 14. And we'll see if they go. Yep, he's switching to the primes. Larkamp is. And then we'll watch Luke come into pit road now. I think he's actually running this exactly like the Captain League Thursday night, because I remember that you were able to go about 14 laps on a tank of fuel with the 80% fuel in that series as Luke switches over to the primes.
Yep. It's amazing how slow pit road is. Larkamp was down on the way even before Luke got to a stall. Right. I mean, that's how slow pit road is. So you can't afford to lose any time on pit road. Another thing you could do here is, they're short stopping a little bit.
Right.
That means there's less fuel of the tank, so that might save them a little time on the racetrack. We'll see as these current stints now starts to shake out.
So we're 14 laps into this race, and of course you break this race up into 14 laps. You get 14:28, 42:56. So obviously it leads right into a three-stop strategy here. As here comes Kite Bommersbach, who's dominated so far. 45 mile an hour down pit road.
Isaac and Nate are staying out, so they're going to use each other to kind of make this stint a little bit longer.
So, of course, going 17 laps, if they were to run this all the way, you'd go 17:34 and then 51 with 2 to go. If they could find a way to get an 18th lap out of it, be interesting.
Could be worth the experiment.
As Kite pulls away, and he will get back on track right in the 4th position, right in front of the 10 of Isaac Lopez. Got to get those tires up the temp as he actually stays on the reds this time.
Yeah, everyone so far have stayed on. Just looking at tire changes. Definitely changed compounds there. But Stephen Larkamp did. Cohen Evans did. Let's see, Edu Villa, he stopped early, but he has as well. Carlos Quintero has. So a number of cars going back into the field have changed on their mandatory compound change already.
That's going to set up for, obviously, what can happen in the future here. You'll start to see some of these cars maybe make up some time, especially in the long run of this race.
One more, Isaac and Nate.
So it makes you wonder, can these guys get 18 laps? If they can do 18, that gets them to 36, which then at that point would get them to lap 54 until the finish of this race. Makes you wonder if this two-stop is really worth it. And here comes, as you mentioned, Jim Herrick on pit road, having a career night so far in this race, running into 6th position. Jim in that 40 car on pit road, and is that trying to see? Yeah, that's Luke Daniels on pit road. What happened to Luke? He's got left front damage.
Must have coming up to speed. Something happened on the colder tires. I'm not sure
think,
what happened. I didn't see it, but
I think we found it.
Yeah.
Right here, turn, guess what?
9.
Coming out of 9, going into turn 10. He's got that Dortero there in front of him. Kicks up some grass, brings it off the final corner, is okay right here. Oh, he overcorrects it over the curve and smashes the inside wall, turn 1. Tough break from the 90. He just went over the curve, and I think too hot, and the tires just spun around on him. Maybe a little bit of
clag in turn 1.
Oh, definitely, especially if a number of these cars using softer tires. A good old clag fest over there in turn 1, I'm sure.
So very interesting to see. Does Isaac have enough fuel to go another lap? And if so, this race is falling right into the TI's hands, the TI guys. And the question would be, can Kite Bommersbach somehow make up 18 seconds or so on a 3-stopper?
I definitely see from the in-car that at least when Isaac got up to 6th gear, he was not. You could tell how hard they're pushing in 6th gear when based upon how far the lights go across the top of the steering wheel there, and they weren't quite going much past halfway.
Yeah,
so
I'm hearing him let off early.
Yeah, I think he's trying to make this this run last as long as possible, and it's not a bad idea, and it seems to be working.
He's going to go another lap here, so.
But not Nate Brody.
And Brody said he has to get into the pits, and here he comes at lap 17. This might be more of a teammate undercut type move here from Brody.
He is bold enough to try it and get some fresh tires on and hit that your out lap as hard as possible when you know that the car in front of you, or at least the car that you really are trying to get on position on the track there, is not pushing nearly as hard because they're trying to make a stint run a little bit longer than the average person right now.
Well, Kite Bommersbach 127 flat just ran the fastest lap of the races.
Brody
goes away with a 9.2 second stop. So good stop. Now, I did just do the math really quickly in my head. There is one stint you can do 17 laps and be okay if you can do 18 for the next 2. So I think if you're Nate, these next 2 stints have to be 18 lap stints in order to make it on a 2-stop strategy. Or I'm sorry, a 1-stopper the rest of the way. So we should expect the 1 car, the champ, on pit road this time by. And with the Delta and stuff, Kite will easily go to the lead here. He'll have roughly about a 19 to 20 second lead. With the Delta being roughly 31 to 32 seconds, he's already down to about 13 right now.
Oh, here he comes. Not making the turn.
Not so much.
Making
wow.
The turn. That time by Isaac, a 131.1.
We're going to have to check Isaac for an illegal fuel cell.
And we'll see how much faster Kite is this time around. Kite 127.9, so Kite is in the neighborhood of about 3 seconds here faster than Isaac.
And that just shows you the tire difference. And Kite's still on the alternate reds too right now. So now for Isaac, this actually sets up to where he can actually go hard the rest of the race and probably be okay.
Yeah, probably what's going on is get the long, painful run out of the way up front, and then hammer down. Nothing but who cares? You know, next two runs.
I'm going to disagree with you on the painful part. When you're leading a race, it's not painful.
Well, yeah, but I'm sure that he is sitting there wishing that his right foot there was probably a lot more pushed further forward.
Right. Maybe touching the floor a little bit.
Yeah, maybe touching the floorboard, so to speak. But I'm sure that he wishes that he was going full out. I know he is.
Let's see if he comes to pit road here. He's got 9.5 seconds now over Kite Bommersbach, so he's definitely going to lose the lead. He's definitely going to lose second and lose third to his teammate Brody. And here comes Isaac to pit road.
Hit your marks there. Can't afford to get a speeding penalty. Here comes Kite already. Boom.
Back to the lead he goes, lap 18.
Here comes Stephen Larkamp. He'll take over second place even before Isaac gets to a stall. There he goes.
Yeah, Isaac should come out between Brody and Cohen Evans, if I see this right. And there he goes, rolls out. 9.7 second stop. Brody's gone by.
Yeah, so Brody got the jump. He managed to get the jump there. So good call on his part.
And he's going to gain about 3 seconds roughly on him also. So Isaac about 20 seconds back, but will have the freshest tires, and he is also on the alternate reds again. So he made those reds work out last time behind. He's going to try it again this time. So far, cars off the track right now. Ryan Whitaker is behind the wall. Charles Baldwin, who was having a promising run earlier, he's had issues. Patrick Thompson, Dylan Parker, Grabowski, Campbell Delaney, Caden Tufts, Aiden Christensen all have had issues in this race.
Closest battle on the racetrack is actually Herrick and Doltero for 6th.
There they are right there on the screen, the 48 and the 40. Herrick on the alternate red, so is Dotero, and both of them pitted. Actually, Herrick pitted 4 laps later than Dotero.
Yep, so Herrick has slightly fresher tires by about 4 laps. Last stint, Dotero went 11. He might have had an issue, but Herrick went 15. So that looks like it was a regularly scheduled run for Herrick. No issues in the first stint, so again, it's not jinxing.
No, you don't do it. Don't do that.
Edu Vila with 6 push-to-passes left. Isaac Lopez right there with 6 push-to-passes left. Carlos Deltero right there on screen with 6 push-to-passes left. Isaac and Nate both still have their 10. Carlos and Isaac this time by, currently on the button.
And you see, looks like the least amount you mentioned, Dotero with 5, Isaac Lopez with 5, Edu Vilo at 6 right now. So for the most part, everybody looking pretty good on that push to pass right now.
It's an interesting strategy. You look at the TI team, which is Nate and Isaac and Dan. They all have all 10. And that is Isaac Morris in their ear saying that you don't need to use them until you really, really need to use them.
You just got to be very careful when it comes to the strategy and stuff and what you're doing. And, you know, the $1 million question is when to use those push to passes. You know, it's like you don't want to burn them off and pull a Vila.
Well, you know, some people you hear when they get on the road courses in the Indy cars, they'll be like, oh, you know, I did a lap and I was using push to pass. The idea, though, is you do your fast lap without the push to pass. Push to pass there is to be used offensively and defensively. It's not there to increase your lap time.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different measures you can use it for. And that's where I think you're seeing Dotero use it a little bit here with Herrick.
Yep.
But as you look right there behind him, I believe that's the 6 of George Whitehouse, who's been pretty much chasing the same 2 guys the whole entire race, it seems like, ever since his incident on lap 1.
Fortunately, that early in the race when an incident gets you, kind of takes a lot out of you. Jim with a not so great inner loop there, and that's allowing Whitehouse to get right up on him. Lost a lot of time to Dotero.
And you saw the 6 of Whitehouse kind of being respectful here, allowing these guys to still battle it out. But one car we shouldn't give a mention to, basically. Let's look back here at this 11 car. Sam Blackwood, we mentioned the Indianapolis race. He left out of that track with, we'll just say he was angry. And obviously it's an incident with a teammate and that kind of deal. And, you know, Sam obviously has moved on here, and he is in the 10th position right now, and after starting in the 6th spot.
Yeah, he's down 4, but he's recovered.
There's Sam coming through the, what is the NASCAR turn 7. And down the front straightaway. Check back up here with the leader. Kite Bommersbach, 11-second lead over Larkamp. Isaac, 17 back now. So he has actually gone by Brody, by the way, for the 3rd position. So Isaac back up there in the top 3. But
trying to take advantage of those newer tires.
Yeah, and we got some pit stops coming up here soon. Cohen Evans did 12, is currently on lap 12 of his stint. He's probably due here in the next 3 laps or so. Carlos Del Taro, 11 laps into his current stint. Sam Blackwood, 12 laps into his current stint. So a lot of these guys are due here. Just as soon as we saw them all stop, it's time to stop again.
And of course, that'll set up everybody for either the final stop, as you mentioned, going to the finish, or for a third pit stop that will lead them to the finish. Obviously, different strategies, different teams. Either trying to go with the fresh tires or with the fuel strategy to get them to the finish. That's just a couple laps from the halfway point here. As Kite pulls away and looking for that second win of his career. Of course, he had the big start at the end of last season with multiple podium finishes, and of course that went into this year, and then finally had that bad run early in the season that kind of broke everything up, and seemed to be making that mistake every race that would elude you to having a great finish, but tonight he has not done that so far.
Definitely focused.
So Larkamp about 11 seconds back, Isaac Moore's 5 back, and then Brody's about 1.6. And then we mentioned that battle with Dotero and Herrick still continuing on here. 0.8 of a second separation there. And then back here, how about the run for Jacob Locklear, the 84 car up front, running in the 11 position right now. Andres Perez behind him.
We got Andres Perez hot on his heels. That is for position right there.
Andres about 1.5 seconds in front of Edu Vila, who's the last car in the lead lap at 13th right now.
That time by Kite 129 flat. Stephen Larkamp 129 flat. Isaac 128.5. So 0.5 quicker that time by than the 2 leaders as he's slowly reeling them in.
And these tires starting to fall off more and more here as the track gets hotter. And obviously as we're in the later afternoon stages here.
Yep, 71 ambient, 84 the track temperature right now.
Which will cause this track to get very greasy and slick and not the funnest one to drive when it's over with. You saw Edu Vila has gone by Perez for
that was 4 position right there.
So Edu up to 12th as he trails Locklear. Edu with the freshest tires by a lap over Perez. He's got 6 laps on Locklear. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm misreading that. He does have 5 on Locklear, but another 5 on Perez. As a matter of fact, he has made his second pit stop, Edu has, so he should be able to jump these guys with the fresher tires and hopefully be up there with, just looking where he should be, about Herrera, Sam Blackwood area.
Now's the time to make time on the track when you got those freshies.
Yeah, you got to make them happen.
Inside there into the, take a look at the inside there, the inner loop. Thought better of it.
There's a smart way of doing things there. Just be safe and live another day.
Well, and you are kind of racing against a corporate teammate there, and you don't want to wreck that guy. And I think Jacob is giving him a wide berth right here. The brakes a little early coming into the toe there. Allows Vila on by. Probably knew Vila had the fresher tires as well. And Blackwood in the pits.
Yeah, Blackwood, the 11 car on pit road. Sam had that promising run beginning of the season. Was it the first race? I'm trying to remember. He had like a top 3 podium finish, if I remember correctly. Might even been a second. Of course, it slipped my mind a little bit, but Blackwood looking to get back on track and have a good run here tonight. I'm sensing the Hinden Gary getting cranked up.
Yeah, it's about that time. So next week, we're going to head to a track that we always seem to have high drama at, Mid-Ohio.
Yes.
So looking forward to that. Then we are going to move on to Long Beach. And if Long Beach for TI is anything like Long Beach it was for the Reddit League, that is going to be high drama as well. And then finally, the last of the Triple Crown Ovals. Hopefully my wheel will be back so I can take part in this one and not get run over by someone named Lester at Pocono in round 9, and then we round out the season. So we're looking at the downside of the season here. So some folks are definitely picking a good time to be peaking right now.
And they definitely is going to make this race a tighter battle when it's all over with. With Kite, of course, making moves right now, and he is sitting second in points, so he's trying to max out as much as he can with Isaac leading. Of course, Brody not really in the points races. He missed a couple races at the beginning of the season, but he is still looking pretty good.
Yeah, he's in that mix for third right now. And you know, a win here, I think the win's worth like 50 points or something like that. That gets you, that's a good injection of points, as you saw by oh gosh, now the name escapes me. That's our win.
Ed Kerstetter.
Ed Kerstetter has his win there. Unfortunately, he's not in the lineup tonight, but that win got him right up into the championship hunt, and he missed the first race.
And unfortunately going to miss this race too, but Ed's still a very competitive person, and looking forward to seeing him back on the track. It's always fun to watch out there on the track each and every race. Cohen Evans up here in the 8th position right now. Look behind him. He's got Dan Herrera.
Herrick made it down Dotero. Dotero's actually in the pits. That's why Dotero is making his pit stop. He's 15 laps into his current stint, so he went 4 laps longer. Might have had an issue in his first stint that caused him to have to come in 4 laps earlier, but he went 15 for this one as he is making his second stop.
See, looks like he's staying on the red tire, or switching over to the red tires, I should say here, Dotero is.
Time by Bombers Bach, 13 laps into his current stint, going to start lap 14. By comparison, Isaac Morris going to be starting lap 9 when he hits the start-finish line. So there's a big discrepancy between Kite and Isaac right now in terms of their stint lengths.
Yeah, Kite right now actually should be coming to pit road in the next lap or two.
Yeah, last time he stopped on 14. This is lap 14 right here. So I would imagine, and I'll stick around until this pit stop, I would imagine this is probably an in-lap for him. We'll see.
Larkamp on lap number 15 of his run. Nate Brody, lap 11. Herrick, who's up in the top 5 right now on lap 12 of his run. There's Steven.
Kite also has 2 slower cars in front of him with Locklear and Perez, who are fighting for position. And so he'll want to get off the track and not have to race these 2.
So Larkamp is 9.5 seconds back right now, and you still got Isaac Morris, who's about 7.5 back from Larkamp. And he actually really has gotten away from Brody. So again, I'm not sure if Isaac may be running more of a tire conservative run, which is almost an oxymoron to Isaac. But you know, in the end, don't be surprised to see him do stuff like this in this kind of race.
And here comes Kite.
The leader's in.
Yep, leader's in, hits the cones there, right at 45 miles per hour, and then he has this long truck. Larkamp is also in. And Isaac is making his way around, and he is passing him right now. And that's going to be it for me, and I don't need any hugs and kisses. I am good to go.
Yeah, I'm giving the daughter hugs and kisses here as I say goodnight to her. Those aren't hearing on the streets because I'm muting my mic every time, but where we were singing Baby Shark and stuff and doing what I do. It's a multitasking job sometimes, but it's one of my favorite things to do at night, so I always say goodnight to the little one as she goes to bed.
Get the Baby Shark remix going on.
Yeah, I don't know about the remix, but...
Well, we will catch. Thanks for everybody for watching. Thanks for everybody taking time to check out the TI IndyCar series. Good luck to everybody that's currently racing on the track, and I will catch you all next week. Have a good week and stay safe and healthy.
I appreciate your time, Gary. Thanks for joining us, bud.
No problem.
Of course, Gary Gotso joining us. He is in the Hinden, Gary, heading west along I-90 to Indianapolis pretty much there. So if you see him up there in the air, I don't know, do a slingshot to him or something. See if you hit him. Anyways, yep, we are green right now as you see the 33 of Nate Brody second right now behind Isaac Morris as Larkamp has come to pit road here at lap number 30. Isaac leading right now by 2.8 seconds. As I mentioned, Kite is now only 11 seconds back on the fresh tires. He swapped over to the primes this time around, so he's definitely going to make this a long run, obviously, to the finish. He will have to pit one more time, so we'll see how much of a stint he runs here on those prime tires. Of course, coming up after this, race number 2 of our brand new Tuesday night doubleheader, the LSRL Grid Finder Xfinity Series from the Virtual Michigan Speedway. We'll have that immediately for you after this finish. So you see Jim Herrick on pit road now in the 6th position. As I continue my my multitasking that I like to do. As Herrick is 9.7 seconds off of pit road. He's going to rejoin in the 9th position right now. Of course, Edu Vila right there behind him. Sam Blackwood now ahead of him. But we're getting to that point now with 21 laps to go. You're going to need about another 3 laps or so. If you can get 3 laps out of her, you are looking at potentially getting to the finish on one more stop. Of course, Isaac went all the way to lap 20 before coming to pit road. Let's jump on board here. Let's take a lap with Isaac Morris here and let you guys enjoy the sights and sounds of Watkins Glen.
course, this is the boot section of the track right here, down into the toe. And I guess what technically would be like the ankle here, maybe? That's that turn 9 section of the track. We really haven't seen many issues there tonight, thankfully. Laps to go this time by. Brody about 2.5 seconds back. He's been running lap for lap right there with Isaac. Of course, Kite Bommersbach now 6 seconds back. Steven Larkamp is 16 back. And then a huge gap back to Cohen Evans in the 5th position, some 35 seconds back right now. And we're starting to see a battle shape up here. The 10 of Isaac Lopez putting pressure on Edu Vila. As to the inside goes Lopez. He makes the move. Vila not going to give it up. They're going to roll a high line. These guys trying to be cautious with each other, racing each other hard. A little bit of grass on the track there. Just got to be careful of all that. Check out the biggest movers in the race so far. Jacob Locklear, as I mentioned, up 9 spots to 13th. Patrick Thompson, though off the track, has moved up 5 to 18th, and then Campbell Delaney has gone up 4 spots to 21st in this race. Let's take a look at the race summary so far. Obviously, we've not seen a caution yet, which is good news. Three racers started. Kite Bommersbach with the purple lap right now. 27 flat pretty much for the most part as Isaac leads. At lap number 35 of this race. As Lopez was finally able to get around Edu Vila for the 10th position, so move him up a spot. As the rest of the field pretty much spreading out. There you see Isaac Morris running roughly 2.5 seconds off the pace of his fastest lap. You see Brody kind of edging his way in there a little bit, down to 1.9 seconds of Isaac. Kite Bommersbach has got it down to 4 seconds. But here's where the interesting part happens in this race is Kite Bommersbach still has to make one more pit stop after Isaac does. Matter of fact, they'll pit at the same time as Brody comes to pit road now. But of course, Isaac right now is kind of at the point of no return. He's made his bed and he's got to sleep in it now to get to the finish of this race. That is Kite Bommersbach. You just saw on the screen right there behind him. Kite last time by at 28.4. Isaac at 29.5. Now, next time by, there will be, 17 laps to go, which should enter the window to make that final pit stop. As here comes Dan Herrera. Dan, the points leader, believe it or not, over in the Captain IndyCar or Open Wheel Series that we run. And a win at Kansas, and has had some great finishes, consistent runs and stuff. And you can definitely see how it's helping him over here as he just keeps the car clean and keeps it out of trouble. 4 tires and fuel for the iRacing green car. There you see the separation between the two. Bommersbach, as I mentioned, running second. Larkamp has been a consistent third all night long. Got 13 seconds on Nate Brody. And again, now the question's going to be, where does Isaac come out when he comes off pit road? I mentioned the delta, roughly 32 to 33 seconds off pit road. And if I look about 32 to 33 seconds back, you're looking at roughly around Nate Brody, as they would be pretty much neck and neck, and only a couple of seconds out of Cohen Evans, who is in the 5th position. As Isaac comes to pit road right now, so the 1 is in. Here comes the champ. And for his final pit stop here, where I assume he's going to switch over to the prime tires here. And he pulls away, and he does move to the prime tires here. A 9.5 second stop. And Isaac does come out ahead of Nate Brody by about 4 seconds. So great stop by the 1 crew. There's Brody back there. But the lead is now officially in the hands of Kite Bommersbach. Kite with 14.3 second lead over Stephen Larkamp now. And then Isaac is about 25 seconds back in the 3rd position. Now, the biggest difference in this race right now is going to come right here, as Kite Bommersbach still has to make 1 more pit stop. He has made 2. Everybody's on 2. But everybody's still going to make a 3rd pit stop except for Isaac. So he's going to need to build as big of a lead as possible here and hopefully not lose as much, and then get to pit road so that he can get on the freshest tires to try to make up that time on pit road. Because right now with a 25-second lead, he is going to be roughly 5 to 6 seconds back of Isaac Morris at this point when he comes off pit road. It is a fine balance as Larkamp comes to pit road now. So Steven is in lap number 38. And he pulls away, and then I believe that is Luke Daniel back there on pit road. It is. Luke, unfortunately, 4 laps down in the 15th position right now. There is Isaac, and there's the separation right now between the two, 25 seconds. As these guys pretty much running neck and neck lap guys right now. So, of course, after this race, immediately afterwards, we'll be over to the Virtual Michigan Speedway for the Grid Finder Xfinity Series, part of the Light Speed Racing League in the Grid Finder Michigan 170. Tomorrow night we'll be there also for the Wilder Graphics Cup Series. You'll see that here on Captain Esports Network tomorrow night. So a lot of great racing coming up here in the next 24 hours. Of course, 2 races here tonight. are all set up to go over in Michigan. So pretty much as soon as we're done here, I will hop on the fastest airplane you have ever seen and get over to Michigan and be on the air again. Isaac has knocked down that time a little bit, down to 24 seconds. He's knocked a good second off of it. So you wonder if at any minute this is going to force the hand of Bommersbach to pit road. Or do you let that lead come down a little bit, knowing that once you get on the fresher tires, you will be able to knock down some of that time yourself? Yeah, that time's really starting to come down now, 23.5 seconds, so Isaac's gotten those tires up to temp. Sam Blackwood making a pit stop here at lap number 41, 12 laps to go in the 11 car. You see Blackwood coming off pit road. And he's got about 4 seconds to gain on Isaac Lopez there in that 10 car. Now the lead is starting to stabilize just a little bit between the two. As I mentioned, it is going to come down to this final pit stop for Kite Bommersbach, and when he comes to pit road, obviously he'll do a short fill, get the tires changed, and be off. And I assume he'll go back to the alternate reds when that happens here in this race. As we're at 11 laps to go. Morris, Brody, Evans, Larkamp. As Cohen is on pit road right now from the 4th position. And also back there, Carlos Dotero coming to pit road. So these guys making that 3rd pit stop. And you see Jim Herrick jumping back by to the 5th position. Jim's last pit stop about 11 laps ago at lap number 32, so he will have to make one more pit stop himself. See what kind of strategy he can do to hold on to that position. What a wild race this has been here at the Virtual Watkins Glen International Raceway. Question going to be, as we keep our eyes here on the lead, when does Kite come to pit road? He has held that lead right at 23 seconds. Nate Brody 11 seconds back now of Isaac, so Isaac's been able to pull away there. And Larkamp about 12 seconds back of the 33. And Kite is on pit road, so here comes the leader. And he's already left pit road, so we'll see what the separation is. I clicked over to check one thing out real quickly, and Kite was on pit road that quick. A 7.8 second stop, which is huge. And he is going to sit 4.5 seconds back, so the race officially begins now. 8 laps to go. So obviously not a full fuel and red tires. And he's got 5 push to pass. Isaac Morris with 10, and there's Isaac right up ahead. And again, here in just moments, we will be over for the LSRL race at Michigan. For those who might be seeing the Indy cars here, yep, they're just about done. Isaac still about 4.7 ahead. Remember, I talked about earlier in this race, Isaac was running more of a tire-saving type strategy at times. And you wonder if he saved those prime tires for this part of the race here. Last time by, it was 28.2. But now these alternate red tires are up to speed for Kite. We'll have to see what he can do. There's Isaac coming into turn 9. The pressure is on this one car. Isaac Lopez on the pit road. The lead's down to 3.9. There's Kite. Isaac using his first push to pass that time by, a 28.4 to a 27.4. So Kite Bommersbach a full second faster that time by. These guys are driving really hard now. Nothing to lose here. Checkers or wreckers, some might say. Kite trying to get his second career victory, I believe it is, on this in the season history. Of course, his one win came last season. Oh, he gets a little wide there. Down to 3.2 seconds as Jim Herrick makes his pit stop to see where he comes out. Here's Jim coming off pit road right now. He's going to have Dan Herrera coming to his left here. There is I believe that was doTERRA to his left here. So Herrick's actually going to come out in the 7th position right now. As we jump back to the lead battle. 27.5 to a 28.5 is Isaac on push to pass. Kite's got it down at 2.8. Kite's going to be coming up, and this is actually a teammate in front of Kite of Isaac Morris. That is Dan Herrera. Want to see how much a role this is going to play if Herrera gets out of the way or if he hinders him a little bit. Herrera's going to drive it hard down to turn 1. And he does give way, so total clean there. What all took place there, no holding them up or anything like that. Too terribly, I should say, as that leads down to 2 seconds now as Kite is on push to pass. Those tires of Isaac are starting to fall off a little bit here. 11 laps in. Isaac being stalked again, much like Daytona. This time it's the experienced driver of Kite Bommersbach. Once again, Kite drives it really deep in that corner to the toe. Got to be very careful there, turn 9. He's almost wide open through that corner. Kite about 6/10 faster that time by. Isaac on push to pass again up ahead. He's got a lap car up ahead.
Next time by, we will see the 3 laps to go. It is down to 1.4 as catching them one thing, passing's another. .3 seconds. Make that 1.2. I mean, this is almost more pressure than Isaac felt at Daytona. There was a lot of draft in that one. It makes you wonder here if it's just going to be a straight up tire strategy. Again, we will get you right over to Michigan for the LSRL race here very shortly. As soon as this race ends, I'm going to talk with the leader or the winner, and then we're going to go right over to that race. Matter of fact, I'll be loading into that race as we talk to him. So oh, and Kite's starting to fall off now. Down to 1.6 seconds. Isaac maybe playing a little possum with him. Last time by, Isaac was faster. As they come up on a lap car, Jim Herrick in the 7th position. As Isaac Morris going to bring it off the final corner, final lap. And now a 2-second lead. Kite has maybe burned his tires up. Unbelievable. Ooh, Herrick had to check up Isaac a little bit there. He does get out of the way. No real harm there. As Whitehouse runs a Red Bull lap, 126.8. George up in the 11th position right now on the Reds. About 2 laps on his tires there, so that's the ultimate Red Bull lap right there. Unbelievable. On a track that is predominantly a tire track, on iRacing, one that tire strategy, usually the newer tires, the one you want to be on. And tonight it's going to be a 2-stop strategy that is going to prevail over fresher tires. Isaac Morris comes off the final corner in another
TI victory for the TI driver, Morse, the champ, back to victory lane at the Glen. And we're going to go right to talking to him here as he's going to go celebrating here. As Isaac celebrates here, I want to get him up here real quick so we can jump over to the other broadcast. Isaac, congratulations, man. Did you think you could hold him off?
Honestly, no. I thought with the fact that he was on the red tires coming to the end of the race, I thought that was it. I generally thought that was kites all day long in the last stint. I didn't realize he was going to go for such an elaborate strategy, but yeah, great race. The strategy was insane, and yeah, come out with another TI championship win.
Yeah, and obviously I believe this is going to be win number 20 for you in your career, if I got the numbers correctly. I'm sure I'll check with you after the race, but still a great job for you, and obviously another great points night.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Great to extend the championship lead even further now, and yeah, it's just I'm thrilled for tonight. Honestly, that was a great race. Cool. I can't believe that I made the fuel last as long as I did in the first and second stint.
Well, you did a great job this evening. And shout out to him.
So to give a shout out to Chris Lewis and TI Racing. Give out a shout out to all the boys on the TI squad. They do a great job week in, week out. And shout out to Nate for another podium. And a shout out to Kite as well for such a great race. And a shout out to you for doing the broadcast.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations. Go celebrate with the team, and we'll talk here later tonight.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, you too. That is Isaac Morris, of course, on the win here at the Glen, and we are going to check out for a second here. We'll come back, and we're going to switch over to the other stream and head over to Michigan. So appreciate you guys watching. Congrats, Isaac, on the win, and congratulations to all the top three, Kite Bommersbach and Stephen Larkamp, on their top three finishers. And we'll be back here in a few minutes from Michigan. But thank you guys for watching here on the Captain Esports Network.